everybody. Welcome to MS Excel Let's Learn guys. Today we will be covering about VBA. What is VBA? Visual Basics for Application. Why do we want to learn this application? So this is the session is all about Visual Basics for Application. Let me jump to my uh, slide where we are telling about Visual Basics for Application. So guys, by now we have covered almost everything what a person should know in Excel. So now the time has come to automate the task. Visual Basics for Application, this is the language which is event driven and from Microsoft, and this is the language of Microsoft. And Microsoft Excel is the basic tool which is commonly used for personal and professional purpose. And it helps, this actually language helps in doing tedious and complex office tasks. For example, if you are doing some kind of routine work every day in office, so it will be difficult for you to stick to that task which is not allowing you to get you some bandwidth to learn something new, to enhance your skill set, to accommodate your time to different activities. So to get out of those monotony, you have to learn Visual Basics for application, so that you can automate all these tasks. And what can be automated, what are those prerequisites, everything is all about in this session. So what we should know before we get into this VBA, who will learn? Guys, to learn Visual Basics for application, no any prior coding experience is required. Before proceeding, you should just MS Office installed on your system. And let me jump to now, why should I learn VBA? Very simple. If an employee, for example, if an employee sends mail to across the customers, assume that if an employee sends mails to across the customers for collection or for payment, this is the activity which is performed weekly. So please guys, focus this. This is the crucial part of the session where I'm trying to kindle interest in you to learn VBA, Visual Basics for Application. Why should I learn VBA? So an employee is interested with the task to send mails to across the customers, and customer can be 100,000, subject to the business. So this is the very kind of tedious task, boring task, where employee just filtering the customer data almost 200 times, 300 times, subject to the number of customers available. And then same kind of pattern they are sending to the emails. Once you get the email, you have to work on that. This is kind of very cumbersome activity, time consuming activity. It can take away entire day. You have to keep recording all the response in the master file or something. So such kind of task can easily be automated. So there are lots of such tasks where you just build simple logic, and then it will work. Let me get you another example which can help you understand better. See, if you are doing a task where you are asking people for data, so they're responding to your mails, and then you are opening all the emails, collating the data in one of the files, and then you are making kind of report. So such kind of routine work where you are getting file. So we have to build a macro in Excel VBA, which will get into your Outlook, and it will read all the emails. So now the question is, what kind of data it will read? So that in an email we have lots of properties like subject. So your tool, with some little logic, can get into Outlook. You know, you can loop through all the emails. If you have to loop through current date emails, or if you have to loop through 2 days email, 3 days email, whatever you want to give the logic, it will work accordingly. And it can get you all the data in one of the files within just couple of seconds. So this is how VBA is required, where it can make you get rid of all tedious tasks. You just come to office, you just open the macro, you just click the button. So once you click the button, the entire activity which can take away sometimes 3 days or 4 days, the entire activity. Guys, trust me, if you are really listening to me, I'm just helping you understand the power of Visual Basics for application. It's not just Visual Basics for there are other languages available in the market, but VBA is meant for Microsoft packages where you can automate your Word doc, PPT, you can automate Microsoft SQL, and you have we have Power BI also, you know for Microsoft. So they're all tools, which where your tool can connect with all these things. And MS Access, your VBA, if you have to store some data, so you can make a macro, click the button, and the data will go and update your Microsoft Access database, and it will keep on appending your data. You don't need to open any Microsoft Access database. Your tool will do everything. What required? What is required to do all that? Just simple logic you have to build. So whether it is Outlook, web scraping, anything, even SCP automations, you can automate through VBA. So guys, now let me tell you another example. Uh, Suppose somebody is making a presentation, like in a PowerPoint presentation. The same kind of presentation he's making, he's getting data from two, three resources, and then he's putting data in a proper format, copy and paste. He is replacing data, and he's removing old data, and he's changing something. So such kind of task also can be automated. So understand that there are lots of things which you do in a day-to-day office. Everything can be automated, guys. And sometimes uh, a team of 5 people, 6 people does something very tedious, where you have to conduct some kind of automation feasibility, where you have to find out the solution to that, and then accordingly you give the solution, that this entire task which is done by 6 people, it will be automated, and then you will save this much of hours annually. So there are lots of things available. You please think about it. This is how we start our day. Automation is very much required today. We are in a 21st century, where we have to think everything, just click the button, everything is just one click away, guys. So why should I learn VBA? I think it is clear to you. So any question, guys, please read this, the entire things which I prepared for you, just to help you understand. And I hope I have really encouraged you or kindle interest in you for these automation languages. And this is event driven languages. Okay, so if you want to trigger a macro, the macro can be triggered, or macro is nothing but Visual Basics for application automation tool. That automation tool is called macro. So this kind of automation tools can be scheduled also. Like if you want your macro should run every Monday 3 o'clock. So there is a tool called Microsoft Scheduler. There you just put your tool name and put the location name of the tool, then it will execute the tool. So there are lots of things available. Now let me go there. Benefits. So now the benefit. If it will eliminate errors, guys. The errors which are happening because of manual intervention. So you can eliminate those errors after you automate the task. And so what's more, automating tasks that affect other users in office can make life significantly easier for them. So elimination of errors, errors can be reduced if you build a logic. Okay, so you mean that logic should be so much robust that it can make a summary of those items which are not available. Maybe some kind of control check you can add in, in the tool, which can tell you after the tool is run, these are the errors. So you mean you have to contact a kind of concern team, where they can tell you why the data was missing and so on. So it's up to you how you want your automation tool. And now time saving measure. So once your automation is done, you are doing an activity which was taking away 3 days. Now the activity is happening in just 5 minutes, guys. You know, I have seen from my experience. I'm telling you, there are some tasks where people were taking entire day. Can you believe that? Where people were taking entire day. Now, even after the automation is done, that job is done in just You can't believe, in just 5 minutes or in just less than 5 minutes, trust me, because if someone has to make kind of calculation on the basis of some data, it can take away around 2 3 minutes. But if that repeated work he's doing for multiple vendors, customers, so you have to build it only one logic for one particular customer, and that logic you have to run multiple times subject to the data available in the database. So guys, let me show you another example. Now it's clear, time saving measure. Now you see, no programming experience required, guys. Anybody can learn. Anybody from art background, commerce background, anybody can learn Visual Basics for application. And this is very much required in any organization because Microsoft packages are almost ubiquitous. They are they are the most used applications. See, no one can go away from PPT. PPT is everywhere. No one can go away from Power BI. Visual Basics for application is very much mandatory today. If you learn little, it can make your life easier. So you can learn through my videos, watch all my videos. So over here, I have to cover just basics so that it can help you understand better, way. And if you explore more, that would be great. Now let me jump to my next slide. My first macro, guys. What should I do if I have to create macro? What should I do if I have to, write some code? So let's get started, guys. With a small basic, kind of code can help you understand better. Let's learn how to automate the task. Let's automate our first macro. Before you write any automation tool in Visual Basics for application, so you have to be very careful. Your macro, your automation, guys, I will be using macro because macro is nothing but automation, tool. So if you have to write any kind of code, so you have to save your file first, Excel macro enabled workbook, guys. So this is the first step. So let me jump to my screen where I can show you this kind of task, first macro. So, first you go to file, 1 minute. Let me show you from the beginning. So you have the file open. So first you have to go to file, or you have to go to save as. So you can click on save as. Okay, computer. So what will happen, guys? The extension you have to select Excel macro enabled workbook, guys. What should be the extension of VBA Excel macro enabled workbook? After you have done, you save. What is happening, guys? Whatever code you will write, you have to just press Control S so that your code will not get lost. So if you don't save your file, your code will go lost. So you have to be very careful. The first step, go to file, go to kind of save as. So if you have to save as, so you have to click save as and computer, whatever. So now, as you know that shortcuts keys we have already covered, you have to press F12. You have to press F12. So you press F12. So you see, once you press F12, this save as window will open. So you can select your thing. Alright, you don't need to go anywhere. So now since it is saved, now you have to go to file, options, and you have to select customize ribbon. We have to check this. Alright, after you check this, it will come over there. Let me go to my PPT slide and show you some examples, guys. 1 minute. So this task is done. This is the first step, guys. Excel macro enabled workbook. If you go to second task, you have to save the work with Excel SM format. What is the format of macro? So guys, if you save your macro, you can see on my desktop exclamation mark is there. So what does it mean? This is a macro. This is the macro you can recognize that way. All right, guys. So this is the extension of Excel SM. Let me go there now. So let's first make the developer tab checked inside option window. So once you have, you have to go to file, you have to go to option, and then you have to go to customize ribbon, and then you have to check this. So if it is not checked, you have to check this, and else it is already there. So it is there already. Developer tab. So you go there and you go to insert. So guys, over here we have form control and ActiveX control. So either of them you can use it. But now we are writing some code. So let's take the ActiveX control. They are used on the worksheet. And ActiveX control, guys, I will tell you little difference about these two, and it will help you why which button we have to use, and which button we don't have to use. And both the buttons have its own characteristics, guys. All right, so let me tell you separately. Actually, ActiveX control, they allow for more flexible design. So if you see, if I click command button or maybe list box, so let me show you an example. If I show you list box, this is my ActiveX combo box, and if I select from control combo box, you can see that this is my combo box. So you see, this is a combo box. So actually, this is my left one is form control combo box, and the right one is my ActiveX combo box. Now you have to ask yourself, when I will get you the data. So come out for design mode. You see that if I turn on my design mode, then only you can access this object. If you go to property, you can do lots of things over here. All right, but once you click this, you have nothing to do. You have nothing actually over there. You either you can assign any code from here. All right, this is kind of an image where you can assign macro, like after the macro is written, you just click this, your macro will run, guys. All right, so now you see that we have format control, so we don't have much option over there. Maybe input range you can put or something. So that's why it is least preferred. But ActiveX control, if you use it, it has more options to explore. So let's get started with ActiveX control, guys. Okay, so now why ActiveX control is preferred, because you can just double click and write your code inside that. So whatever event will happen, it will work accordingly. So I will cover everything one by one, guys. So let me go back to my slide. So now we have checked this developer tab. You can say we have saved this and checked the developer tab. After developer tab is checked, so developer tab will reflect on the top. You can see developer tab, and if I go to my Excel file, you can see developer tab is reflecting. So already we have taken that actual control, our form box. So what is happening here, if we click here, every option is available. Now let's start with one basic automation tool. And if you go to insert, you take command button also. So if you just park this button, you double click on this, you can see that this is open now. If you remove everything, you see, once you see, if you search something, it will come. So if I remove everything, maybe I remove everything, you will understand better. See, that once design mode is on, then this actually goes on. So now you have to uh, turn on and turn off. All right, so now you have to design mode of turn on. Now you see, I want ActiveX control command button. Once you click that, you can park this. All right, now you double click inside that. Here you can write msgbox. This is the syntax, guys. Message box, you can write hi, welcome to Excel VBA macro. So this is actually the code we have written. So now you can see, just save this file. Okay, now you click welcome to Excel VBA macro. All right, so you can play like that. All right, and there are lots of things actually inside that. So now let me do that. Let me tell you some other things also. So you have you have this text box over there. So if you have to take some user input, you can tell that 345, you have to get it, you have to get the details from the user. If you are building automation tool, so user has to give some details. So maybe you can build that way. If I give the command, text box, the user has to put some value there, then he has to click the button. So that button can read the value from this text box and run the tool accordingly. So the tool will be dynamic, so user can put any value, that. So we can make a mini calculator in our automation VBA tool where you put two values, and you can perform any mathematical calculation in Visual Basics for application. So let's get started with some basics, where you can try to write your own functions, guys. All right. So now let me try one more function. As you know that message box is working. Suppose I want to write 1 to 10. So I want to write 1 to 10, guys. So how will you write 1 to 10? 1 to 10, how will you write? So 1 to 10, you just write, range a1 dot value equal to 1. All right. So I will help you understand that, if you are writing this way, 1. So you will understand why I'm telling that. There are shortcuts in VB also. Suppose you have to write 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Guys, to automate anything, you should have little, kind of mathematics, uh, clarity, that if you are typing, uh, you know, 10 times, it is also not good, because whatever you are doing here, this is also not good, because every time you have to do 2, 3, or 4, or 5, and 6, 7, 8, and 9, and 10. Let me tell you something. Somebody is doing one thing in 3 hours. Okay, and maybe somebody is automating the task, or he is taking 300 hours. So this is wrong. So you should make that somebody is taking 300 hours in doing the task, or you should take 3 hours in automating the task. So that scenario better. But if someone is taking only 3 hours, in doing the task, or maybe automation is taking 300 hours, that criteria is not good. So over here, the same thing we are telling you. If we write, kind of 1 to 10, from A1 through A10, we have to, put some counting. So it is not good, because every time you will change this A2, A3, how much we are doing that. So let's not do that way. I will tell you the shortcut. So how you can do that? From A to 10, we have to put some counting. Can we put that way? X equal to X plus 1. So assume X value, we have 1. All right. So now we are putting range. Now we are putting range. So you can say X. I will cover everything. I'm just, telling you, nothing to worry. You will understand everything by and by. Purposely, I'm telling you this scenario, because I will make easier now after this. If you have to make a range a x equal to, of course, a is the one. So now you have to put x value. So every time your formula will increment one by one. So you can say that, how will you execute this task? Think about it. A1 through A10. A1 through A10. How you will do that? Think just 30 seconds. Because you cannot just A1 through A10, guys. How will you do that? So I will tell you shortcuts also. So this is actually one scenario. And if you have to always type 1 to 10, so what you will do? So I will cover this, but now let me tell you, there is one option, record macro here there. So record macro is there. If you record macro and put that macro ABC1, so you know that you just put 1, and then you can just drag this. All right, and now you go there, fill series. You can stop recording. So 1 to 10 is done. So I will cover this also, but let me tell you, such kind of task can be recorded also. So now you see that if I remove everything, okay, you can just see that our task is done. This entire task. So now I remove this. Now let's form control. You can take form control button, and here you can assign the macro. Now you know the difference. Once you pull the button from form control, immediately task assign the macro. You have to click this. 1 to 10 is covered. So now you know that 1 to 10 is clear. So now let me go back, to that function which we were doing earlier. So how will you do that way? If you have to write a coding from 1 to 10. So first you run this coding, how it is working. All right. How your coding is working. First you run that. How will you do that? Press F8. Press F8. Step by step, you're running the code. All right. step by step. Now you see that it has covered one, it has come out of the scenario. Purposely I'm telling you this scenario at this moment where we have to learn VBA, but understand this is very much useful. Why my code is coming? Because every time I want the value should be greater than, it should be incremented by one, but now it is just coming out of the loop. So can we do something? So guys, understand, to handle such scenario we have to understand the loop. So there are many loops. So in if you look at grammar in English, if you look at grammar in English, how we do until, I'm just telling you little bit guys, do until x equal to 11, and then you can close that. Guys, I'm just telling you little bit about it, nothing to worry, don't get scared. So this is how it should work. Now you run that F8. So what will happen guys? Press F8. Now 1. Now it has come back again. What is my X now? X my 2. It has 2 now. You see that? So my objective is to help you why we need loop here. Because now see that it is going up and going down, because we have to run this, and we have to run this entire series until X become to 11. All right. Now see that it has come down. So this is the code guys. um I just wanted to help you that this simple task we recorded, but this is the coding. Understand, x equal to 1 because x should be holding some value, and we put this line of code. When we were running that code, it was just reading this line and then it was reading and coming out, but we have to run that one by one. So whenever it was coming this line, it was making that 2, and then it was going up and then coming here and it was making 3. When again it was going up and it was checking, yes, x is not equal to 11, again it is coming down and then taking one more. So this is basic, guys. I really request you personally, please share this code and understand this for 2 minutes, and I will cover that basics now onwards, so that this is actually one basic where I have little covered, kind of why do we need, why do we require, kind of such kind of loop, because we have to run the same task. As I mentioned, if someone has to automate email task, they will write just one logic. If that logic has to be run for multiple customers, so every time customer value will go changed, but logic will remain same. So objective here to tell you only about loop. That loop in any language is very much required. LOOP. So over here we have actually run the loop. Let me, this is called do until loop in VBA. So you just remember that when loop will be covered, you will get to know. So today is the session is all about, basic VBA, so that you will have some kind of interest in basic VBA and you can automate your own task. So this is clear, I hope. Now let me tell you one more example, guys, with VBA only. I have this data. I need your attention here. So we will automate this task with simple basic VBA, and now you know how to write your own code with simple message box. Now you know how to record the macro. Whatever activity you perform, you can record that. Let me show you one more recording so that it can help you. Suppose I want to write one code, like I have to highlight some kind of data, and that part I have to run everywhere. Like if I go to this tab, I have to click that button and it should come. All right. So now how will you do that activity? So you just go to developer tab, record macro. You can make second macro. Now it is. Now you see it is not working, guys. You know that. Understand this also. The name does not begin with the letter underscore. All right. So understand, the name contains a space or invalid character. Name conflict Excel build. So the name that you entered is not valid. So now you know that. How will you do that? First tool. All right. So now understand that, if I have to do this activity, all right, so you can make the shortcut Alt HBA. So we have done this activity. Now let's do that. The recording which we have recorded is really recorded or not. So if you see the down, this is recorded, guys. First tool. So now you go, somewhere, you can put it here, and first tool you can assign. So what will happen if you remove this also? How will you remove that, guys? You have to clear all right. Now you see that it is recorded, guys. So you have your own macro available with you. So if you select everything, it is just clear all. So now control Z again I'm doing. If you have to record this clear all also, it is there, record macro. So you can mention clear all right, clear all you can write. So you just select this, and now see that home, clear all, and now stop the macro. All right, so the session, now you see clear all macro is also written. So now let me take another button of form control, clear all. So this is clear all button. Once you click this, you can change the name also, guys. It's in edit mode actually. You can make clear all. So now you see, if I write something, some keyword, whatever, so you just select this and clear all. Now you see clear all. Actually, we have assigned wrong code over there. Once you go there again, assign macro, clear all you have to assign. All right, it is clear. Now you see that how will I clear? It is clearing everything. If you write something over there also, so see that what will happen. Now it is see. Now what is in this code? There is a problem. Whatever area you are selecting, or maybe we have made it hard code, column al dot select, guys. If you remove this line of code, how will you remove that? You just put single quote. So single quote means will make the code as a comment. You see that selection dot clear, this line actually will help here. So whatever area you select now, it will work. Now if you write here, if you write here, if you write here, you can select entire area. It is dynamic now. If you write anywhere, you can see that clear. So selection dot clear is the unique code which can help you. So you want formatting, formatting is there. Clear all is coming because that part was selecting. I hope it is clear to you guys. So now code is running, guys. So whatever we write today, it is all about recording macro. So recording macro is one of the amazing feature where you can record your own macro without writing code. Like if you have to collate some data, if that task is very much manual, if you feel no logic is required, so if you record anything, Excel actually watch all the steps, guys. You can see here I'm recording, another thing, third, third tool. Okay, so now we make it third tool. What is happening? Excel is watching now, but this recording does not capture the mouse movement. Again I'm telling you, this recording does not capture the mouse movement. Understand? It captures the selection. If you are writing something 1 2 3 4, if you're writing something 1 4 5 6, and if you're writing 5 6 7 8, so now if you stop that, all three steps are recorded. Now if I show you the code, this is the code. It has actually captures. If I remove everything, maybe if I remove everything, guys, clear all. So now you see, if I run this tool, it has recorded all the things which we did, which we performed in the Excel file. I hope recording macro is also clear, guys. recording recording macro is amazing feature in Excel where you can record your own macro. Maybe simple formatting you can do that. Like whatever area you select, it has to be alt HBA. But alt HB is easier than recording because you should know the shortcut also in Excel. All right. So guys, anything in Excel, what you perform can easily be automated. You know, there are tasks, where you have to mention, I want 10 different tabs should be created. Once I click the macro, it will create 10 different tabs. We will learn everything, one by one in the session today, where I will help you to understand why we should learn VBA. So the session is all about kindling kindling interest in you. So that fire I'm kindling in you to understand, why should I learn VBA? So after the session is over, you will ask yourself, is it really worthwhile to learn VBA? Because the task you perform is getting you nowhere. It can easily be automated. You can wonder, you can impress your, managers, you can impress your organization where you can perform such kind of automations where people are slogging away throughout the day, throughout the week, getting those reports ready, where entire team is working on, such kind of tedious work where, everybody is, getting some error. So that manual process, they are not only error prone, but they are full of, manual interventions. If you are working good, so you can give that report to somebody else. What if someone actually changed the logic, or someone inadvertently does some kind of value change or something? But if such kind of task is automated, so nobody will blame manual things, because manual interventions always cause some issue. Because despite knowing the things, we actually perform such kind of calculations which are questionable. But if you do such kind of task through automation, that logic has to be built, and after that it is going to be approved. See, guys, any automation you build, it cannot be deployed in any process unless it is approved by the higher management, because somewhere it is dealing with your customer data, your organization data. So be very careful when you are planning to automate something. You have to automate something in full view of the higher management or your manager, so that they should give you a green signal to automate such kind of task where this automation tool is going to be used by entire team. So that automation is nothing but dummy robo dummy robo which will perform everything for you. Take the example of calculator. When I suppose I transport you back to the time when there was no calculator, no no invention was made. So that time how the calculations were performed. So don't go too far. If I take you back to 25 years before, when there was no computer, it just came in the market, in the banks, in the post offices. People had all files, big files, which had you know good amount of dust settled on that, but still people learn, people amaze the whole world. Now you see calculations are happening in just seconds. We are withdrawing money in ATM by typing some kind of keyword. So if everything is just one click away, guys, you see, we are all surrounded by machines, we are all surrounded by automations. If when we get up in the morning, we need we always use very first machine, which is mobile. Then we use our geyser, then we use our gas stove, and everything. We iron our clothes. If you look at everything in the house, washing machine, fridge, and AC and laptop, and everything, mobile is the best example where everybody is spending almost minimum 2 hours a day. So why automation is required now? This is sufficient. You got what actually I just wanted to pass on to all of you. This is how the automation works. It actually not only a machine, it's your friend. The way you instruct, in the coding, it actually works that way. So you have to be good instructor. If coding is not good, the result will be disaster. So logic building, decision making, you have to perform amazingly, and so that or correctly. It has to be approved also by group of people, so that they can get you some more kind of ideas. And the last but not the least, in the session, I just want to communicate to all of you. Any automation we do, every automation requires exceptional handling also. If I talk about exceptional handling, guys, what is meant by exceptional handling? Exceptional handling means if the input is wrong. What if ATM machine doesn't have only the numbers? It could have alphabetical characters also. So don't you think people generally could have uh, you know put some kind of password which was supposed to be in number, they could have done in alphabetical characters, so it could have been more coding involved in that. So they have removed all those barriers. They have given just keypad, like a calculator, put your password there and get the money out of the ATM. So if you put wrong password, The ATM tells you it is incorrect pin, and if you put the password thrice incorrect, your card is getting blocked. So now you understand, I'm talking about the ATM automation. ATM is also amazing automation which knows that what is the pin of your password. First, you have to get your password validated by putting into the ATM machine. Suppose the password, somebody's password is 1234. If wrong password he's putting, suppose one 456, or maybe three times he has incorrect password, so that actual password will be blocked. So he has to go to bank and everything. So what is this actually? This scenario is called exceptional handling, because money cannot be given to you unless you validate your identity, because ATM doesn't know you. ATM knows the password. Password is your identity. So that password has already been fed into that centralized machine which communicates to the respective banks or server where the data is located, and within seconds you get your money in your hand. I take you one more example. There was a time where we would go to bank to deposit money in somebody's account, but now it just click away, guys. It just click away. Once you deposit money, you see that, and the person's, if you're putting money to the person who is sitting beside you, once you deposit money in somebody's account or the person who is sitting beside you, maybe you can check sometime later. Immediately, once you click the button, that mobile also rings one message, ting ting. That message means some amount has been credited to that account. What is it all about? It is nothing but a coding, guys. So we are all surrounded by coding. So I think this session is sufficient today to help you understand better about why should I learn VBA, and why should I learn all these things. But before you learn VBA, guys, please refresh your math little, because mathematics is the key to this language, or mathematics is the key to all programming language. So you should know little mathematics. That's all required in the session. Thank you very much, guys. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.